What's up, guys? My hair is a mess, so I have this weird little floppy beanie on. You might feel a little disoriented watching this, like where am I filming this from, but I'm actually filming in my room. I just got rid of my tank and now I have this desk. And my little 100,000 subscriber plaque, which not to be a little ahead of myself here, but I think I'll be needing another one of these kind of soon. Don't worry, I didn't actually get rid of the 150-gallon tank. It's just in another room, so don't worry, cheese is still good. Everyone's still good. I couldn't handle the tank in my room. It was 150 gallons of water and it made my room extremely humid and loud and unbearable. So now it's in the living room, so we could just deal with it out there now. Let me just show you guys so you don't freak out. Erwin and Cheese are still in this quarantine tank. Hey baby, how you doing? How you doing, baby? Hello. You want this? Oh, you want this too. They were the ones that still had a few spots on them. They didn't look like, I couldn't tell if they had ick still or not. I don't think they do. I think I was being paranoid. They really do look perfectly okay. I think I was being paranoid. So I'm gonna move them back into, excuse me, that was for Cheese also, Erwin. Cheese. Stop taking Cheese's food. So it's in my living room now. I'll do a whole video on it when I get Cheese and Erwin back in there. Oh, and my dogs are barking, great. My dogs are so great. Kita, come here. Why are you barking? So we have all the original fish in here. Erwin and Cheese are in the other one, but then we have some new ones. There's a leopard wrasse. Oh, where'd it go? You wanna come out? No? Cool. There's my gold flake. I have a marine beta, but he's hiding back there. There's fan mail I need to open. I'm sorry, I suck. But anyway, there's that tank. And then over here is Cheese and Erwin. I'm sorry, guys. I'll get you in the other tank soon, I promise. I promise. What are you looking at me for? You just spit water. Cheese, did you just spit water at me? You learned a new trick. Oh shoot. So today we are talking about crocodile skinks. I actually did a Twitter poll where I asked you guys what you wanted to see first, either a video about my snakes or my crocodile skinks. And a majority of you actually voted for the snakes. I don't even know why I did the poll because I decided just to go ahead and do the crocodile skink video anyway. Sorry. Crocodile skinks, yes. They don't really like to be handled, first and foremost. So if you want a reptile you get to hold a lot, this isn't it. Here's Drogo and Daenerys. Daenerys is on top, Drogo's on the bottom. They're in love, they're a happy couple. This is a crocodile skink. I'm gonna put Drogo away because he's the most fidgety and he doesn't like to be held, so I'm gonna put him away. Crocodile skinks are definitely an observation animal. They're not ones that you're gonna be able to take out and play with. If you're looking for a lizard that you can hold more and interact with, if you're looking for something in the skink family, I recommend looking at blue-tongued skinks. If you're looking just in general, there's bearded dragons, leopard geckos, crested geckos, and like I said, blue-tongued skinks. Those are the top 4 that come to my mind. Or 5. I don't even know how I listed. I don't know how to count. This little girl is more calm than Drogo. Drogo doesn't sit still. What are you? She'll just like sit there. She's funny. Now crocodile skinks come from the island of New Guinea and they do live in a tropical environment that is very humid and moist, damp. I don't like the word moist. And they actually do enjoy swimming. So they do like to have a section of water in their cage. We will get to that in a little bit. There is no recorded evidence of how long they really do live in the wild, but in captivity they're known to live about 5 years, which is actually exceptionally short in my opinion. They definitely have the shortest lifespan out of all the reptiles I own. I don't know why they don't live that long. I believe that there was one record of one living to be about 12 years old in captivity, but generally they don't make it past 5. They reach sexual maturity at around age 3 and they start breeding until around age 5 when they die. So this little girl is actually under 6 months old. She's very young. When they are full grown, they will be about 8 to 10 inches from nose to tip. Wow, my focus is awful. So they do get bigger than this. They don't stay this tiny forever. I'm gonna go ahead and put her away even though she's really relaxed. They don't like to be held, so even though she's not fidgeting, I feel like she's been out too long, so I'm gonna put her away. Crocodile skinks do like to live in pairs or in groups. You can keep females together or a male and a female, but you can't keep multiple males together. They will stress each other out and they can possibly fight. So it's best to keep either a group of females or a male and a female. And if you do keep females together, you do have to keep a watch on them becoming territorial because that can also be an issue with the females. So the absolute safest routes to go is a single crocodile skink living alone or a male and a female pair. But of course there still is a possibility for issues even with the male and female pair, such as overbreeding. So Gotta keep an eye out for a number of things when keeping multiple ones together. 2 crocodile skinks can happily live in a 20-gallon tank with no issues. I keep mine in a 20-gallon, but it's a square instead of a 20-gallon long. I use an Exoterra. I'm not exactly sure which dimensions I'm using. I don't know which Exoterra it is to be exact, but I will put it in the description. All products I mention will actually be in the description if you want to buy anything. Now, crocodile skinks are very, very secluded animals. They like to hide pretty much all of their life in a little den that they create. They dig a little hole in the dirt and they live in there, and they don't really come out. They only come out to eat and drink and use the restroom, and they don't do that a lot. They generally will wait until it is pitch black, and then they will go out, hunt, eat, use the restroom, whatever, and go back into their hole. You really won't see them out ever. Seriously, like, I love these guys. They're awesome pets, but again, you're not going to be able to hold them much, and they're going to hide a lot. It just really depends on what you're looking for in a pet. If you don't mind the fact that they're just going to exist in there and you can see them every once in a while, then great, perfect for you. But if you're wanting something that's going to be out a lot and very interactive with you, this is not the animal for you. I generally recommend keeping a crocodile skink's humidity at around 70 to 90%, so extremely humid. I use a humidifier to make this happen, but you can just spray multiple times a day to also make this happen. The humidifier that I use is pretty low quality. I've already had to replace it once, and I've only had it for about a year. I mean, it does the job. Basically, I cut a little hole in the lid of their enclosure, put the tube in there, and it mists it down. It's not automatic. I do have to manually turn it on and off. If you are having problems keeping up the humidity in your tank and you have a screen lid, you can put things like plexiglass on top of your tank or aluminum foil or something to cover up some of the ventilation in the tank, so it's not as easy for that humidity to disperse out of the tank. For lighting, they don't need very strong light. 75 to 80 degrees is a perfect optimum temperature for them. It can get down to about 70 degrees at night with no problems whatsoever, but during the day you like to keep it at around 75 to 80. I do this with a 50-watt daylight blue bulb, and then at night I have a purple heat lamp running, and I don't remember exactly what it's called, but again, I'll put it in my description, and it runs at night, which just provides a little extra heat, and they really don't mind it because it's not a bright light. It's not going to bother them, but it does provide that heat. They do need a hiding spot, and they need an area to be able to get their water. A shallow water dish will do the part, but they do actually like to swim. So if you do something that is deep enough for them to swim in, they will use it every so often. Just make sure that whatever you do use for water has a way for them to easily climb in and out, and is not so deep that they may get stuck at the bottom and not be able to climb back out easily. So for example, mine is just a DIY little cheap plastic tub that I put rocks in. So the rocks will help them climb in and out, but they can get in there deep enough. I also have a little sponge filter running. I do use an aerator to pump oxygen through a little sponge filter that I, like, again, kind of DIY, made it myself, but it goes in the water and it keeps the water moving, because if the water gets tangent and stays still for too long, it will get slimy and gross and nasty. So this helps it keep it clean so I don't have to change it every day, and it keeps it safe for them to swim and drink out of. As far as substrate goes, I actually have a 3-layer system in their tank. It gets pretty moist. Hate that word. It gets pretty wet in their enclosure, so you always have to worry about, you know, mold becoming an issue. I found the easiest way to prevent mold is this 3-layer system. It keeps the water from staying at the bottom of the tank and accumulating mold and all that nasty stuff. Basically, it's 1 layer of hydro balls, which is clay. This will absorb the water that gets to the bottom of the tank and keep it from, you know, splashing around and filling up the bottom of your tank. The second layer is a mesh or filter floss. I just use some filter floss from a fish tank, but you can also use mesh that's specifically made for reptiles. Again, I will put it in the description. And the third and top layer is Eco Earth. So basically the Eco Earth will take in most of the water, but some of the water is not absorbed through the Eco Earth. So it'll pass through the mesh or the filter floss or whatever you use and into the clay. And then the clay will absorb the water and prevent it from building up at the bottom of your tank. This system also keeps things cleaner and again prevents mold and other things from accumulating in your tank. Crocodile skinks do not need plants or anything to climb on. All they need is a good hiding spot. In my cage, I just put a giant piece of wood. Literally, it just sits there, big old little chunk of it, and they hide under it. They're happy. All in all, they're a really, really cool looking animal. I enjoy looking at them. I enjoy watching them exist, but they definitely don't do much at all. They sit there in their little hole and exist, and every once in a while I'll see them come out and hunt, but that's it. When it comes to food, you do have a variety of options. I've had crocodile skinks for about 7 months now, and I have just had their diet completely just crickets, and I've had no issues whatsoever with it. Drogo's growth has been great. He's healthy, he's happy, but you do have other options if you don't want to just do crickets. I feed my crocodile skinks every 2 days. Every other feeding I do dust the crickets in calcium and vitamin D3. You can buy a little container of it at the store. Again, I will put it in my description. It's very important to make sure that your crocodile skink is getting enough calcium so they don't develop metabolic bone disease. If you do decide you want to try some other things other than crickets, you could try mealworms and dubia roaches. Mealworms are not a good staple diet. Please don't feed them just mealworms. They're just really fatty, don't have enough protein in them, but you can give them to them occasionally. If you do have a big enough area with water in it, you can even give them small guppies and mosquito fish, and they will hunt them and eat them. So those can be little fun things that you try. Here's a full list of everything you can give them. There's a lot of different foods you can try, but I've just stuck to crickets and had no problems with them. Just make sure the crickets are no bigger than the width of their head. I feel like that might be everything you need to know about keeping your own little dragon. I hope I did not forget anything. Just please make sure that you really keep an eye on the humidity in this tank, because if it is too dry, they will dehydrate very rapidly and they will die. So please keep it humid in the tank for them. Thank you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned a little thing or two about owning your own little baby dragon. And thank you so much for 900,000 subscribers. It's crazy how fast this channel is growing. I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. So thank you. Even though I can't thank you enough, thank you. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. I post a lot of fun things about animals, and it really helps me and my animals out if you click that little subscribe button. Also helps me out if you click the little thumbs up button, or you leave a little comment. You know, leave a little good comment like, oh my god, I like this video, thumbs up. Helps me out a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and yes, like I said on my Twitter, if I get to 1 million by the end of the year, I will get a cheese tattoo. No big deal. Okay, bye. Whoa, my thing's falling off. Look how tiny this one is. I kissed you, and I'm gonna get salmonella. Kiara, 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 Kiara. Thank you for looking at me. Can you come? Come on. Come. Kiara, come on. I don't want to go out there. It's cold. Kiara!